Hello, everybody. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, and we are, in my book at least, more than halfway through Wednesday, so we are almost there. Welcome to this week's edition of Midweek Movement. This week, we are going to concentrate on our core for balance and also our lower body. So, for those of you that have been attending for some time, you may have heard us talk about the core. But if you are new to the concept of the core, let's just review. Um, there's a misnomer or kind of an interchangeable term for abs and core, and those two are not quite the same. Your abdominal muscles, think about the ones that we are crunching with, are a part of your core, but your core, in fact, is your entire trunk. So it goes from top through the bottom of your pelvis, including your glutes. And it also includes your back, your extensor muscles that keep us nice and tall, as well as other back muscles. So it's a big structure. It's really important, obviously, for posture to hold us upright. It is our center of gravity. It allows us to move more freely as we have strength and range of motion, which helps prevent injuries. It attaches our upper body to our lower body, right? So that's a big deal, sort of important. So if we think about our core and the concept of within the terms of like posture, for example, right? Think about the back muscles. They need to be nice and strong. So the back part of your trunk to hold us up. It has a beautiful framework called our spine, and those muscles are attached to that spine. But what about the front? Right before or right below our rib cage, we have no bones, right? We have our abdominal wall, and that is what holds us up. So, yet another reason why having a strong core is really important. So, the abdominal muscles that we're very familiar with, or crunching muscles, are part of this sort of basket weave of the abdominal wall. The others are our rotating muscles, so our internal and external obliques. And then under that, the deepest muscles are called the transverse abdominis, which is kind of like a belt. And those muscles are that muscle is a supportive muscle. So I can't tell you, oh, engage your transverse abdominis because it doesn't work that way. Think about the transverse abdominis. It engages when we cough or we sneeze, right? So that's the guy that goes oof when you sneeze or cough. Now, when we put our bodies in a controlled but unstable environment, when we do balance exercises, for example, that stabilizing muscle gets fired up because we are in an unstable environment and its job is to say, hey, I need to stabilize you. So, super, super, super important for balance. Now, lower body. And we can think of our glutes as lower body and glutes as part of the core, but those are basically what connects all things together. So our glutes are really important. We're going to work on those. Also, our leg muscles or quads and hamstrings are really big muscles. So they're important for strength, obviously, for mobility, for being able to get out of a chair, up and down the stairs, in and out of a car. So for longevity purposes, but the bigger the muscle, the more calories they burn. So that's an added bonus. The stronger our legs are, the more calories we burn. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but to keep it simple, that is what we're going to go with today. So we are going to do most of our things standing today. You can keep a chair or your desk close by, and you will need your stability or your stretchy band for a couple of exercises. Okay, let's get started. We are going to work on some standing balance moves. Now, the movement is simply a knee raise, but let's talk about what that means in terms of balance. I'm going to stand, I'm going to set myself up. My standing legs should be nice and tall, strong, pressing firmly through the entire foot evenly. I'm going to pull my belly in tight to engage my abdominal wall and squeeze my tush. Remember, part of that is part of our core to give me a nice sense of stability. Okay, so what we're going for here is control. So you're holding the knee up simply and control coming down. So we are going to do reset, Other leg. Name of the game is control in a stable environment. So if you find yourself falling more than standing, it's okay to put your hand or your finger on something stable, but I don't want you to over utilize that source of support. I still want you to be kind of working to stabilize yourself, belly tight, standing leg glute nice and strong, and then just this little finger tap or his light hand pressure to get ourselves to be stable. So we're standing more than we're falling over because that sort of defeats the purpose, right? All right, that's our last one. All right, moving on, we are going to build on that. You're going to take, let's see, your right arm up. I guess if you're facing me alternately, it's going to be your left arm up and your right leg is going to go knee raise. So we're going to continue with the knee raise, but now we're going to go across to the knee, again, controlled. Let's do all one side this time. Knee, name of the game is control. Again, if you need to put the other hand on something stable, whoops, go for it. Let's talk about range of motion here. You don't have to be raising that knee as high as I am. It is absolutely fine to just bring it up, even just off the floor. It doesn't have to go, it doesn't have to go this high to get the benefits. Because think about it, as we raise that foot off the floor, we are in that environment, the controlled, unstable environment that requires all of our stabilizing core muscles to engage, right? So this does not need to look like mine, just the toe off the floor is plenty because I'm already working here. All right, so let's do the other side. Belly tight. Squeeze your glute on the standing leg and come on down, or come together, I suppose. You can tap the toe at the bottom or even fully reset your foot just to have your chance to engage, or to challenge yourself. You can do this entire set without really placing that leg back on the floor. It's just a way to increase that, but always be stable. Okay, that's the name of the game. All right, so let's shake those out because the glutes and the quads definitely get a little workout. All right, reset in the standing position. Now we're going to work our hip flexors and our quadriceps. Again, fingers or hands somewhere stable if you need it. You can even do that with both. And here we're going to extend, squeeze the leg, and come back down. Relax. Extend, squeeze the leg, and come back down. Again, modification here, you can do it in your chair. You can lower the leg if you'd like between the extension, so it can look like this: up, out, back, down. So we're doing 5 total, or you can keep here. Our work and our burn is right in the front of the body. Let's do one more. All right, shake that standing leg out. Every time we switch legs and we do one of these balance exercises, and if you're doing them on your own, I want you to think about mind-body connection. Having and training your brain to talk to your muscles to engage the right muscles is really important. So the setup is important, right? So we're going to think flat foot, evenly place pressure on my foot, squeeze my tush, pull up nice and tall, abdominals nice and tight. Now we are here. So whatever that looks like for you, whether you're keeping the leg up or you're coming down to reset, all good, because this is not easy. You get those legs burning, which is a good thing. That's what we want. If it's easy, it's not going to do a whole lot. Okay, range of motion, again, that knee doesn't have to come up super high. It can be down here. All right, excellent. That looked great. So let us do a couple of rotation exercises or oblique exercises. Take your band and you're going to place it on the floor. Step on it with both feet. And this side, we're going to do side tilts. Okay. Now, what did I just say about it being, you got to feel it, right? So we're not just going to be moving in space. We need to create a little bit of resistance, which you are going to do by tightening the band to wherever that is for you. So stand up tall, belly tight. We are going to tip over like a teapot, away from the side of the tube. Reach your fingers to your knees. Slowly come back up. So on the way down, squeeze your side here, your obliques, and then come back up. If you are finding that it's not super challenging, then adjust your resistance on your band to make it more challenging. And again, mind-body connection. Since we are working the side obliques here, think about squeezing as you go down and then resisting the pull of the band as you stand back up. The resistance part of it is just as important to build strength as the contraction of the muscle as we tilt over. Awesome. All right, let's do the other side. And for me, the hardest is finding the position to recreate the right amount of resistance as I did from the other side. Okay, belly, height, tall, aligned, and then let's go ahead and tilt. Squeeze on the side that you're tilting. Resist the pull of the band nice and slow. Notice that I'm returning my shoulders to right over my hips. So I'm not doing this kind of thing. Yeah. Control is the name of the game. You can have your breath help you a little bit here. In fact, I hope you are breathing. As you tilt, exhale, and then inhale on your way up. Exhale. So why do we exhale on the way down? Or why do we exhale, for example, when we crunch? We do that because our abdominals contract on the exhale, and that is when we're contracting our muscles. So it just helps us to reinforce that contraction. All right, let that be the last one. Okay, let's do some deadlifts or good mornings, as they say. So what the movement is going to be this. Let me turn sideways. All right. Unlike a squat, our squat is driven by the fronts of our legs in part of the movement. The deadlift is driven by the hips. So we're going to get a nice flat back. And then the seat really pushes back. The knees are just a soft bend here, okay? They don't really bend a whole lot, but we just want them nice and soft and not locked out. As we come forward, you want to keep the chest open. So here's how we add resistance, if you would like. You're going to place your bands on the floor, step feet hip width apart. Again, you're going to have to play with the resistance a little bit. So give yourself some give, I guess, if you need it, or tighten up as needed. All right, so set up nice and open chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And here's our motion. Tilt the hips back, but our back stays nice and flat and our chest is open. As you come up, squeeze your glutes. The shoulders should stop right over the hips and your glutes should squeeze. In other words, we're not flinging ourselves back and hyperextending. That is not necessary, nor is it advised, because we don't want to be putting pressure on our lower back and hyperextending. So up, squeeze the tush, shoulders and hips are aligned, nice and tall. Check. If you find your shoulders rolling forward, simply just take a moment, roll them back. This is a great way to work the back. Nice and slow coming down. Squeeze up. Again, if you are If your resistance here is too much, where you're finding you cannot keep the proper form, go ahead and adjust, because being able to maintain proper form is really, really important, not only to prevent injury, but also, we want to get as much benefit from the movement as we can. Last one. Great. And wonderful. Let that go. All right. So building on that, let's see, how are we on time? Oh, we're at time. So let's go ahead and have a seat here. We've got some uh, glute stretches, some piriformis stretches across ankle over knee. Sit up tall. If you have the flexibility, you can lean forward. Today, my hips are feeling really tight, so just sitting up nice and tall is kind of it for me today. So just listen to your body and where it is. If you want to lean forward, you certainly can. My hips are kind of screaming at me, so that's not happening. And come over to the other side as I'm grunting. Make sure you're breathing. Okay, let's release the lower back and some glutes a little bit. So bring your legs wide at the end of your chair. You can do the standing as well with knees bent if you're going to do the standing. And then slowly roll your chin down to your chest and roll down. And I want you to kind of hang out here and just dangle. Okay, so relax your head. Shake your head yes, shake your head no, and pay attention to how tight your neck may have been. You want to sort of be a bobblehead here. Nice deep breaths. And on the exhale, see if your lower back, your hips, and your glutes release. You can come down a little deeper. Normally, I would say, okay, when you're done, roll up nice and slowly, head coming up last so you don't get dizzy. Normally, I would advise staying in that stretch and really letting your body relax into it, probably for 5 or 6 more breaths. But because of time, we're going to call it. Thank you so much for joining me, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care.